Chow right here. Hope you're doing well. Welcome. I wanted to talk to you guys about something today, and in case you hadn't noticed, and you know, you may not have, you know, it's some people, you know, see the video on environmental blindness. Some people just miss things. But in case you haven't noticed, my eyes are stunning. I mean, they're breathtaking. Other than that, you can tell that I do not have the long, luxurious locks that I did in my youth. Thank you, Grandpa. But God has granted me the ability to at least grow some semi-decent facial hair. And, you know, I used to always hear from people too, oh wow, you know, you're lucky. You got a head and a face for baldness. What the hell does that mean? I never understood that. Or, you know, don't ask bald people to touch their heads. Like, it's just, that's rude. So over the pandemic, you know, because of this, and much like everybody else, I had to go to the, you know, YouTube online school of COVID barbering. And while I was okay, I was not top in my class. And there were many times where, you know, you could only see me from one side. And those types of things. And so after the pandemic, one of the things that I really was excited about doing was going back to the barber. Because I hadn't been to the barber in a long time, and it was something that I didn't like initially. I'm one of those people that don't really like people touching me. So I don't tend to touch people. But side note. And so it was always uncomfortable for me for people to be like touching my face. And like trimming me up and doing my hair and those types of things. And but over the years, I got used to it. And the reason I got used to it was I had this really great barber, Matt. And Matt knew me, Matt got me. Matt was awesome because I could just go in and I'd be like, you know, I want the Dr. Quest, and he got it. You know, like he just knew exactly what I was talking about. He was a graphic design student, and he was trying to start his own business. So like we really kind of hit it off on a multitude of levels. And it was really awesome because I'm sure with women in their nails, and I'm sure women with their hair, or guys who have hair, you know, you find somebody that you like and you really kind of stick with them because you know the experience that you're going to get. You've built some really great expectations, and every time you go in, they hit and meet and exceed those expectations. So you're constantly like, man, they are awesome. I got to go back there more often. I got to tell everybody about it, all of those things. And that is exactly how it was with Matt. Matt and I, we were hitting it off. He got me, I got him, you know. We kind of like some of the same music, though he considered them oldies. I'm sorry, they're not. They're like 1980s. They're not that old. Much like me. And so he, you know, we bonded on that. And then during the pandemic, though, the barbershop that he had a chair at shut down. And the sad part was it was literally like right around the corner. I could like, it was a nice afternoon. I'd take a walk over, you know, I'd spend an hour with Matt, grab some coffee on the way back at a little cute coffee shop. Just, it was a great time. It was like, you know, it was a really way to get out there, charge my batteries, do something fun, get away from the business for a while, get away from everything. And I had a little bit of panic, and I'm like, oh, shit, what am I gonna do? Because when when you find somebody that does your hair or does your nails or does whatever it is that you need and want done, whenever you find that person, if something happens and you can't use that business or you can't use that person or whatever, there is a lot of panic that kind of comes with that. There's a lot of fear and anxiety that comes with that. And you start to think, well, what if they screw it up? What if they make a mistake? What if it's, you know, like, et cetera, et cetera. And to be honest, I mean, hey, come on. It's hard to not screw this up. It's sheer perfection. But jokingly, my face is my moneymaker. And so what happens? You know, what happens if somebody screws up my beard or my face? And, you know, the thing is, I always used to tell people when they would get bad haircuts and those types of things, or when I would get a bad haircut, I would always tell myself, well, you know, it's going to grow back. Don't worry about it. Yeah, it'll grow back. And luckily, a beard grows a lot faster than head hair, so, you know, it wasn't a big deal. But I decided it was time to get out and find a new barber, a new Matt. And so, driving around, I see all these barber shops and things. And like I said, it was a real experience with Matt. Like, it was a great place. It was like an old school barber shop, and people were talking. It was like old school. And I didn't want to go to like a fancy salon kind of place. I kind of like, I wanted, barbers that kind of were in the same area that I like. Hey, they, like the same music, or we like have similar tastes in music. They like the same things. They were on the artsy and creative side. Like that was the kind of the environment that I was looking for again. And I actually found this really great place not far in the next town over, Fullerton. And out of the blue, just booked an appointment. I didn't know who I was booking with. I didn't know what the experience was going to be like. I didn't know anything. I just kind of jumped in and blindly said, you know what? For whatever reason, I honestly think it was the logo and the pictures on the website that really kind of pushed me over the edge, because I was like, it's like a funky place. It's really cool. I like the name of the place. I like the logo. I feel like, like this could be the place. And I booked it, just picked a guy who happened to have the time that I needed. All right, boom. He's available at Wednesday, 9:00, and I need Wednesday, 9:00. So man, he's the man. And like I said, it could have gone one of two ways. It could have gone totally south and things could have get totally screwed up. Or it could have been the best experience of my life. And I was really looking forward to it. I was looking forward to like finally getting in. I'm gonna look good again. People can look at me from both sides of my face. I don't have to, and whenever I'd screw things up, I'd be like, oh, well, thank God we all have to wear masks, because like nobody can see it. And then you pull the mask off, and you got hair everywhere, and you look crazy. So it's like, okay, they won't even notice. So I took the jump and I went in, and I was like, all right, I'm going to go. I need to get this done. I'm really excited about this. I can't wait. I pictured like, oh, I'm going to look so good. Oh yeah. Like, man, they're going to eat me up on Insta. And, got in, went in, spent a great time. If you need his name, I'm just going to call him New Matt, but if you need a referral, I'm more than happy to give it to you. Hit me up if you live in the North Orange County area. And New Matt wasn't chatty, but neither was Matt when I first met him, and neither am I when you first meet me. I'm very shy and quiet. And I went into the situation knowing that the onus is on me as the new consumer to educate New Matt on what I was looking for. All right. I couldn't just go in and be like, I need the usual Matt, or just sit down in the chair and start talking. And Matt would know what to do. New Matt would know what to do, because I haven't told him. I haven't had an experience with New Matt. So New Matt is at a loss. So sat down and was going to be very clear about what I wanted. I was like, I'm going to bring pictures. I'm going to show him exactly what I want, so there's no confusion. And, kind of the moral of this story is we're all consumers. Okay, we're all consumers at some point. And we need to kind of remember that at some time. So I got into the barbershop, I sat down in a chair, and I was telling him, and for some reason I just clammed up, and I was just like, well, I want okay, you're a professional. I'm sure you can see where I'm going with this. You take it and run with it. And as I was sitting in the chair, like, my legs kind of tilted. I was comfy. I had a nice like heat wrap. As I was sitting in the chair, I kept thinking, oh God, I'm like, everything's going to look great. It's going to be exactly what I wanted, etc. He's going to spin me around in the chair, and boom, we're going to be just like, man, this is the best work you have ever done. I did amazing. And the sad part is, and if you all, you know me in any way, shape, or form, or you know anything that I talk about, or you've seen any of my other videos, you know what I'm going to say. That was never going to happen. There was no way that reality that I was imagining, that reality that I had in my head, was ever going to match, I should say, the expectations that I had in my head, and the false reality that I built up in my head was never going to match the experience in person. There was no, I don't care who, what, where, when, how. There was no way that what I was thinking was going to happen was going to happen. And let me clarify, not exactly in the way I thought it was going to happen, but some of the things did happen, because there was a kernel or two of reality in my expectations. And when New Mat finished, I turned around and everything was shorter than I wanted. It was closer than I wanted. I kind of, at first I was kind of taken back, and I didn't say anything because I'm like, oh, you know what, it'll grow on me. And one of the first things that he said to me after, because I think he could tell that I was like, was there was a lot of damage. You had done a lot of damage, and I needed to go shorter on a lot of things to fix the damage that you did. And when it starts to grow in, it will look the way that you want. But in other words, you kind of fucked it up really bad. And it's going to take a lot to fix it. It's going to take a lot of spackle and things to fix it. And that in there is where I'm going with all this, is we need to remember sometimes that we are consumers. We go into stores and we make purchases and we buy things. And we are not always, we're probably more often than not consumers than we are business owners. And we need to understand, as business owners, how new consumers can feel coming into our experience. We need to understand that this is new to them. It could be a little bit of frightening. There might be some anxiety. There could be some past problems and issues with other businesses like yours that are keeping, kind of playing in their head. Well, it happened 2 other times with companies like this, so it's going to happen again. Expectations aren't reality. Expectations are feelings and emotions and anxieties. They can be a lot of things. They are not factual. Your expectations may not always be factual. And even when it's hard to make them factual, I would argue. So we need to remember that when we get a new consumer in, or when we are talking to a consumer, or engaging with them in any way, shape, or form, we need to remember that what is in front of us, what we are seeing, is possibly a facade. The person may be afraid, they may be unsure, they may, there's a lot of things that they may be feeling at the moment. Anxious, nervous, scared, you name it. Overly happy, who knows? And I think as business owners, we need to step forward as a leader and say, really take the ball with new consumers, and just be like, okay, hey, can you tell me about the experiences you have with other businesses like mine? I want to make sure that we give you the best experience. So can you tell me a little bit about some of the things that happened before that brought you here today? What can I do to make this a better experience for you? Like how, when you were having, how can we help you? When you were having issues in the past with other businesses, what happened so I can do those things? Or, sometimes, in your industries, some of the things that are problems for people, like money, or whatever it is, what are the anxiety and panic inducing things that might happen that could cause somebody to, I don't want this person to know too much about my personal life, but I'm going to have to, because I don't want this person to know too much about whatever it is. But 9 times out of 10, there is some sort of fear, some sort of anxiety, some sort of something that is holding that consumer back from really embracing and moving forward. And as a business owner, we need to figure that out. We need to really understand their position and how they feel in the world, and what happens when they come into a new business. Now, I'm not talking about a super fan. I'm talking more about a casual consumer, a new consumer. A super fan, if something happens once, they're going to brush it off. But if it happens multiple times, then that will bring things into their head, like, oh, maybe this needs to be reevaluated. I'm talking about new consumers, people that you need to educate, people you need to bring on board because they are not part of the herd or the flock yet. Those are the people that, and even just finding out why they had to leave their last business. You know, like if you're a financial planner and I mean, this is an extreme example. That's one I just come up off the top of my head. If you're a financial planner and somebody's coming to you, and you can tell, you know, there's some hesitation, you know, and then you come to find out, oh, well, their last, you know, person, you know, stole money from them or what have you. You know, those are things that need to be discussed down the road at some point once you figure it out, to help them feel comfortable. Like, you know, hey, I would never do that. Here's, you know, I can give you references about, you know, you can talk to real human beings, that I can give you, you know, names and numbers about how my business runs, what have you. So that's it. That's kind of it. You know, I'm kind of rambling here at the end, but you know, hey, that's my brand. But we need to remember that 9 times out of 10 we are consumers. So when we get a consumer into our business, we need to, you know, wear 2 hats, I guess is what I'm saying at one time. We need to, you know, the business owner hat and the consumer hat, and we need to be able to see everything from all sides, not just, oh, this person's coming in and they want this, so here it is, buy. You know, your job as a business owner / salesperson / marketing person / file clerk or whatever, your job is to find, convert, and retain consumers. So if you sense that there is anything stopping that momentum, you need to figure it out and address it and deal with it. Okay, that's enough for that. I'm starting to ramble here. But I want to thank you for joining us today. It's another one of these videos where I want to talk about issues that kind of affect all small home and solopreneur businesses. So if you like this video and you want to see more, make sure you like and subscribe below. Follow me on social media. There's always more information about me, and find your Betty's Selly Experience at ehhoward.com. Tell your friends. Share the video and tell your friends. All right, so I will see you in the next video. Have a good day. Bye.